Okay, so yesterday we have completed the for getting the list of data and the delete action. If you observe here, if I click on and delete, so if I click on delete, the record is deleting. But by default, use unfortunately click on this delete button. Okay, so he don't want to delete, but by default, sorry. So unfortunately, he clicked on a delete button. Again, it is a record is a deleting. So we have to ask the confirmation. Okay, are you sure you want to delete this record? So when I click on the user delete button, I want to display the one confirmation pop-up. In JavaScript, we have learned the different types of alert messages, right? Alert, confirm, prompt. Those are the alert messages we have learned. Now, same that confirmation pop-up I want to display here. 1 minute. Open this. Open index.html page. So here I want to write a on click confirmation. On click equal to. So this is a click event, right? We have learned the JavaScript. Return confirm. You want delete. Okay. Save this one. So whenever a user click on this delete button, I want to ask him, are you sure want to delete? Okay. So reload this application. Click on delete. Now say I'm able to getting the confirmation message. Are you sure you want to delete? So if user want to delete, he click on OK. If you don't want to click on he click on cancel. I'm clicking cancel. Now say record is not deleted. Now I clicking on delete. Click on OK. Now see action is hitted. Click on continue. Now see that record is deleted. So like that real time also we have to display the one alert message before deleting the record because unfortunately he clicked on delete. Okay. Okay. So as of now we have completed the for getting the disturb data and the delete. So user want to add a new record. Organization they want to add a new record. So we have to create one registration form to register the employee data. Okay. So this is a list, right? So I want to add one link here. Okay. So register new employee. Come here in HTML. Or we can add in a menu register. Okay. So in employee controller, we need to add one new view. Public action result register. Okay. So return a view. We need to create a view. So we have a employee model. So I want to use the same model here. Okay. So click on right click on this register. Click on add a view. Select Mvc view. Click on add. So here if you see template, come here. So I want to create a new one. Click on create. So here model is there. Okay. If you expand this model class, we have created the different classes, right? So I want to use the employee model class. Now click on add. So don't change this name. This register name and here action name must be the same. Okay. Now don't uncheck this. Don't check this check boxes. We'll discuss what is the use of this create a partial view in coming session. Okay. As of now, leave it as it is. Click on add. Now we have a new page. Now if I run this application, so I have a first name, last name, salary, age, and email, and then a joining data. So this is the new template. If you observe here, it is something not good looking. So I want to format this UI from here. So I'm removing this. Okay. And just removing this header also. Register. So add employee register, add class, text, primary, save, come here, reload the application. Now employee register. So I want to format again this one. Come here. So here what I want to add this in one div class. So here in this div, add bootstrap class, bootstrap container. Inside container, I want to add one more div class from row and one row. Inside that one, I want to add one more div from here. So add a class equal to cart and cart header. So inside a header, I want to add this text. Okay. So after header, I want to add one more div class cart body. So inside body, I want to add this one, this completed text. After that, and paste here. Save, reload application. Now, if you see here, this header is coming in something look and feel good. Now, if you see here, click the button, click is it is not good, and I want format this again. So come here again. Where is the button? This is the button, right? So what I want button primary instead of default button primary. And then, so if you see here, reload application. Okay, now this button is coming. So instead of like this, I want to add first name before the text. Okay, and the top of now. I don't want a top up. That is a client requirement. Okay, come here. So here, this is a form horizontal. It is form group add one row. So it is a label control. Okay, row. So I want to add like this. Okay, now come here. This is a form group. Siva. Yeah. So I want to see some classes. Mhm, mhm. Eight, 10, save this one, reload application. Okay. So what I want to give the some space between these text boxes. If you observe here, okay, these two text boxes are combined. So in real time, we don't want to display like this. So client won't accept if you display like this. Okay. So we have to arrange the this one. Now I want to change that. So form group column D 4. It is one label classical column D2. Group row group row. So reload application again. Click on continue. Okay. And we have to arrange this button to. So here column D offset and change this to 8 and offset 4. I will explain you what is this offset. Come here, click on continue. This is a div. MD and reload application. Okay, the size is decreased. Now open Bootstrap forms. Click on Bootstrap forms. So they will display the form format. So what format we want now? So this format we want now. So form group label, and then we have to add one form tag. Come here. So this is a div. What I want to add one form tag. So inside that, copy paste here, save, and then stop this application and reload again. Okay, it is arranged is different, something mismatched. Now just copy this one and paste here. We'll see. Control chat. Remove this form tag here. We have to add inside the body. So don't worry about this designing. Okay, by practice we can learn okay, and we can copy paste it here on. Don't worry about it. Okay, still it is not formatted. So here copy this one. Reload. It is formatted. It is a one more. Copy this one. This text box is not getting a space. Okay, leave it, no problem. I'm removing this complete tag. So we can format it after functionality. Okay. Now if you observe here, I'm reloading the application. So what are the fields present in my list page? So these are the first name, last name, email, salary, age, joining date. So these fields I have to enter a front end. Okay. If I enter and then click on employee/register. So if I click on create button, new record need to insert into database. Okay. So this is our requirement. So whenever we click on create button, every time we are going to add a new employee. After that, automatically redirected to the this list page. After click on create button. So it has to navigate into this page and newly added record need to display here. That is our client requirement. Okay. So open the database. We already created the store procedure for inserting also. Can connect. Click on a query. So we have a database morning 9 a.m. So expand the databases morning 9 a.m. Expand the programmability, expand the store procedures, and then we have a insert employee. Okay. So to check that store procedure, we have to use the command sp underscore help text and then sp name or this is sp, right? Click on this one and then script store procedure. Okay. We have to create to new window. So we can open like this also. So this is a store procedure we have created. If you want to see the what are the input parameters in this store procedure, we can view like this. So this is our store procedure name. It is expecting the first name, last name, salary, joining data. These 6 fields it is expecting. Okay. So now I want to use this store procedure into my application. Now come here. So we have created the data assets, right? So for getting the data and deleting the data in this data assets class. Now I want to add a new class for inserting. Okay. So copy this action and paste here. Now we want to add a save employee. Save employee or insert employee. Anything we have. Now if you observe here, we have to pass the input. Now what I want to pass input employee model as a input parameter. Okay. Now see immediately I'm getting the issue here because this ID is not present as a input parameter. Now if you come to the SQL server, it is expecting these 6 input parameters. Copy this input names and paste here. So this employee model dot first name. We have to pass like this. Copy this one. Come here. Paste. First name, last name, email, salary, age. So here is a last name and here also last name and then email. Email. So we have to add the email and the salary. So here also we have to pass salary and then age. So these names must match. Okay, if you misspell, you will get a error. So these names must match here. And age. We have to pass the age. So joining data. Here also we have to pass the joining date. Okay. And then we have to change the store procedure name. This is the SP. Copy this one, paste here. Save this one. Okay. So when I click on the create button, it will call this action and it will insert new data. Okay. And so whenever we click on this button, right, where we have a student controller, sorry, employee controller. So this is the employee controller. So we require one more action. One is for a get. So I'm using the HTTP get. This action is for a getting and copy this one, same action name. Instead of a getter, we have to use a HTTP post. Okay, when I click on the create button, this action need to call. So now if you observe here, it is showing the error because already we have a register method and again a register method. So method names are same. That is why it is getting the compile time error. So how to solve this one? So we have to pass the input parameter, this employee model. I'm passing the input parameter employee model. Okay. Now we have to call this data access layer save method. When I click on the create button, right? So we have created object and we have a save employee method. So it is expecting the parameter as a employee model. Copy this object and paste here. Okay. So once click on the save button, so successfully save. After that, I want to redirect to the this list page. Okay. Now come here, copy paste this redirect to action. It redirect into the list page. Copy and then paste here. Okay. Now put a breakpoint here. Come here, reload the application. Okay. So I need to navigate every time employee slash register. Instead of that, we have to add a register one more link here. Okay. It is easy to navigate. Open a underscore layout CSHTML. Copy this link, paste here. So instead of employee list, I want to add a register. Employee register. Okay. So this is action name register. Save this one and reload. Okay, see this link is added. Click on this employee register. Now say I'm able to redirect it to this page. Now what I want, we have a table. Select star from employee, right? TBL employee our table. Click on execute. So this is the data we have. Now I'm truncating this data. Okay. So what is the command truncate? Truncate table name. Click on execute. Now select star from TBL employee. Click on execute. Now see, I don't have any data. So to confirm here, now navigating to the employee list. Now see, we don't have any data. It just displaying the empty. Okay, only headers it is displaying. Now click on employee register. So I'm going to add name Shiva, last name Shiva, salary. Okay. So here I'm entering the something text, age. We can enter an age and email shiva@123 gmail.com. Joining data and giving the data 01203 something 2023. If I click on a creator, okay, now what happened? So register, right? This is a register. Open this form. Here. So if you observe here, it is expecting the action name and the controller name. So controller name is a employee. Employee. Action name is a register. And then so form method dot post. It is a post action. So I am getting this issue. Expected. Okay. Save this one and come here. Reload this application again. So put a breakpoint in employee controller. Here we have to put a breakpoint. So enter Siva, then name, salary, and then age, and email, date. Click on create. Registered. Type button, type. Inspect this one. Right click here. Click on inspect. Is there any issue? It will display. Click on the console. We don't have any issue. Okay. Then why it is not working? Put a type submit. remove this form tab, what will happen is reload application. Okay, it is a hit. Click on container. Here, click on employee register, add your first name and then last name, your salary, enter age, email, enter a date, click on create. So mouse over on here. If you observe here, I entered what are the input fields of you have entered all input fields displaying here. Okay. Now click on continue. Okay. Now see automatically data from here. So by using the store procedure, we have successfully created the record. If you want to add one more record, you have to click on a register and then add an input field. So the problem here, if you observe, without entering any input, means for example, this first name, last name, age, all these are a mandatory field. I'm not entering this field and directly click on a creator. Now see, automatically it is a hitting and I click on continue, I will get a issue because we have to pass a input parameters to this store processor. So I want to display some validation messages. When I use click on this create button without enter input, I want to display the validation messages. Okay, click on a register. I'm not entering this input fields. Also, directly click on create button. So instead of getting this error, I want to display some messages. Okay, so how to add messages? Now, what is the model here? This is our model class employee model. So here, what I want to add my validation messages. So how to add validation messages? So we have a property called required. REQUI. Okay. So required attribute. Where this required attribute will come? This is coming from the namespace called system data data. Okay, component data annotations DLL. Okay. If I add a required first name, last name, okay, and then salary, save this one. So this namespace, if you observe here, automatically added. Okay. Now load this application. So how this validation messages will you display here? Come to this register data HTML. Okay, expand this one. So we have a validation. Okay, this validation message and validator for. So what is this meaning of this one? So by using this validation message for this is called strongly view model. We will discuss one more view, the difference between tightly coupled and loosely coupled. Okay. Now, if you observe here, I'm using the bootstrap classes. Okay. So this is the validation message. If user not entered input, then I want to display the one message. Okay. So how it will work? This validation message automatically tightly coupled with this first name. So this first name, where it is coming from? This is coming from this employee model class. In this employee model class, I entered the required field. So this is a required tag I have entered. Okay. Now go to this register, employee register. Click on create. Okay. Okay, it is displaying. Now all these fields are null because it is I did not enter anything. So before this, I want to check this employee model is valid or not. So if model state dot is valid, okay. If it is valid, then only I want to create this action. So copy, paste here. Else, if it is not valid, return same view. Return view only. Okay. Save this one. Okay. Reload this application. So in real time also, this all are a business requirement. Okay. So everything we have to validate the application. Click on a register. Click on a create. Now mouse over on this one. If you see here, is valid is false. Click on a continue. Now see, all these files are, it is displaying the first name is a required field, last name is a required field. Okay. And why this field email is not displaying? Come to this register, salary, age, email. So in employee, employee controller, we go to this definition. Okay. With this email, paste here, and then age. Stop debug. Updating attributes requires restarting the application because it is not supported by the runtime. Okay. So build this one, rebuild application. Okay. Now rebuild successfully. So whenever we are going to change any a code here, we have to stop first debug. After that, we have to enter these fields. Okay. Now come here, employee controller. Okay. And then start application. Click on register. So click on create. Click on continue. Now see, now all the fields are required field. So without enter, he cannot create a new form. So I have to fill this form. Now I'm entering the input. Center, okay. Center, salary, and age, and center 123 direct gmail.com. Enter a date. Click on create. Now if you mouse over here, now it is true because we have entered the fields. Click on continue. Now see, whatever we have entered the data, it automatically created and redirected to the list page. Okay. Now what I want, you could click on this employee register, go to list, right? So this we have to add in the bottom. So come to this register. This is a div card body. So add one more div, add a class card footer. So copy this one, control X, control. You do know this div. Okay. Action link, comma, new, at the rate, class equal to, add a button, btn, warning. Okay. So if you want to add, now say it is displaying like this. This button, btn. So we this one, railroad application. Okay, it is not applied. Okay, if you want any background color to this card, we can add a background color also. So we just search on a bootstrap cart. So come here. In this bootstrap, we have a cart. So come scroll down. So they will display the something background colors also. Okay. So the colors so they have given text primary text, and if you want to add background color BG. Okay, these are the colors we can add. So BG warning, come here, BG, reload this application. Now like this, the color will add. So if you want to add on top, so to this header, right? If you want to add a BG success, you come here, reload application. So it will display like this. If you want to change the text color, we can change environment. Come here, reload this application. So it will display the like this. So whatever color you want, we can display from look and feel it will change. Okay. So as of now, we have completed the registration. Okay, get the list of employee and then delete. So go to this. If I click on a list, so it will navigate into the list. So if I click on edit, I want to edit this data. Okay. So I want to edit. If I click on edit means I need one more form for editing. Now stop this debug. Come to this employee controller. Okay. So what I want to edit. Okay, create one action, public action result. I want to edit. So we require a edit view. Right click on edit, click on add, click on Mvc file, click on template. For this template, we are going to use editing. So here we have to use the employee model. Okay, click on add. So I'm removing this one. Okay. So employee edit. So add some class text primary. Okay. Now I want to, when I click on edit button, so I want to navigate into this page. So come to this employee controller. When I click on edit means I have to pass the ID. Okay. So what I want to type is integer and then ID. So based on ID, I want to retrieve data. Okay. So this is the action HTTP get. Okay. So we have to get the data by employee ID. Okay. So if you observe here, we have a SP store procedure get employee by ID. Okay. So I want to call this SP. Come here. So go to the data access layer, copy this one. Get employee list. Anything we have to copy and paste. So get employee by ID. By ID. This is the action. So it is expecting the input parameter ID. Okay. Now I don't want a list. I just want to return the singular employee model. Okay. Remove the list. Okay. So I'm removing this list here also. List is not required. So I'm creating this employee object on top of read action. Control X, Control. Okay. This is the employee model. Now I'm removing this list. Instead of list, I'm returning this employee object. Okay. Save this one. So we have to pass the store procedure name. Now, what is the store procedure name? This is our store procedure. So just drag and drop into here. It will automatically come here. This name. Copy this store procedure name. Copy and paste here. what is the text we have to change? The type is a stored procedure. Okay, and then we have to pass the input parameter. Okay, so cmd dot parameters dot add with the value. Okay, now we have to pass the id as an input. So we need to call this action. Okay, copy this action name, go to the employee controller. So here I want to call, so data access dot get employee by id. So I'm passing input parameter as a id. So we need to create a employee model object to store the data. Employee model obj equal to, now I want to pass this object as a view obj. This is a get action. Okay, so where we are in a, when I click on a index, right? Index method. So if you observe here, I don't have a, just I given a index. Now what I want to call this action name. So copy the above name, above action link, or we cannot type at the rate html dot action link. So open the bracket. It is expecting the action name, comma, okay, about action name and then a controller name. After that, we can pass the about the list. So this is the value I'm going to pass here. Copy this one, paste here. Okay. After that, I want to add these classes. Copy this and paste here. So we have to close the tag and then we have to close. Status of paste above action. Copy and then paste. Okay. So here is the editor. This one is edit. So here we have to change the primary. Okay. So we don't want this on click confirmation. It is not required. So remove this on click event. Okay. So we have to pass the ID as an input parameter. Now I'm passing the ID. Now if you observe here, I have created only one action for getting. So this is the action get. Reload the, sorry, unload the application. Click on employee list. Click on edit. Now see, automatically data is populating here. How it is populating, that we have to understand here. Now put a breakpoint here. This is edit, right? So first two classes, I told you how to pass the data from controller to view by using the view model, temp data, view background, and then a model object. So I'm passing the ID as an input parameter, and based on ID, I'm getting the data from database. that data I'm storing in this model class object. So I'm returning this model class object to my view. Okay, this view automatically displaying this text boxes. Where this is coming from? This is coming from the model. Okay, this model. Okay, we are using the model data model and then ID. Okay, these are all the fields. Now, if I change and click on edit, I want if you come here, if I change the salary or first name, last name, or email, anything I want to change. If I change, so this data automatically update and I need to redirect into the again list page. Okay, so that is I want. Now add this into again on a card. So from looking you can feel we have to change here. So this is a card. I'm going to add one more div. Inside this, I am going to add a class container and then div class equal to cart header. So in this header, I'm going to add in this employee text here. So add something bg class, bg primary. Okay. So I'm removing this class if you're going to add a bg primary. So and then add the div class cart body and then div class cart photo. Copy this one, just here, and then copy this section. Products, remove this and you add a folder. Save this one and save this button primary. Reload this application again. Click on continue. So like this we have done. So change the footer also. Delete. So add some bootstrap colors. So I'm going to add a secondary for look and feel. Or BG secondary. And then reload application. Okay. So it is not visible. Then add a primary here. Now it is looking good. So like that we have to add. Now, okay, if I click on save button, I want to update this data. Okay, update this data means again we need to add one more action for update the employee data. So if you see here, we have created the update employee store procedure also. Okay, so right click on the store procedure, click on a script, click on create a new window. Okay, it will display the our store procedure syntax. I mean, what are the parameters we have passed? So if I observe here, first name, last name, email, salary. Okay, joining date is I missed. So I'm going to alter this one. Alter, add one more parameter at the rate joining date. Okay, so this is a date time. Now we want to update this date time also. Put comma date time joining date equal to at the rate joining. So execute this store processor. Click on execute. SP executed successfully. Now come here, go to this data access layer. So what we need to do? We need to update the action. Okay. Copy this save action. Stop this debug. Don't worry about all this. Whenever you are practicing, okay, that time you can easily write. But the first time write, it will little bit confusion. Okay, okay, and you will fear this code. Don't fear. Once we have a practice, you can write your own. Okay, don't worry on this. So I'm changing the action name, update employee. So we have to change the store processor name. This is the my SP name. Copy this one, change the SP name. That's it. There is no change required. Now come to this employee controller. So when I click on this create button, so I need one more action for the post action. This is a HTTP post. Okay. So it is expecting the input parameter employee model. Employee model. Now come here, copy paste this one. What action we have to call? We have to call the update. Update employee. Once update is successfully, I want to redirect to the index page. Copy this one, reload this application. Click on employee list. So click on edit. Okay, I will redirect to edit and change in the joining data 2022 instead of 23. So and I'm changing the email 111 and changing the age 26 and changing the salary 20 and changing the name and then changing the first name. Okay, all fields I have changed and click on save. Execution store processor ID which was not supplied. Okay, so we'll get a issue like this. So what is the meaning of this one? We are passed all the input parameters, but ID we haven't passed it. So at the rate ID we have to pass it. CMD dot parameters store. Stop the debug. Add with the value. Okay. So you need to pass at the rate ID, comma, this employee model dot ID. Save in the payload application again. Click on employee list. So click on edit. So I'm changing the first name. I'm changing the last name. And I'm changing the salary. Change the age. and we have to add that every field. Okay, it is updating or not. Okay, and changing the date also. Click on save. Now see, Shiva is changed to Sivanarayana, last name changed, email changed, salary, age, every field is changed, updated. And then it is redirected to the list. So like that, we have to do the real time also. We have to work on like this. Okay. So we'll discuss some other topics. Now, as of now, we have any doubt, please ask me. I will clarify. So don't worry about on this code. This is one-time code only. This syntax never change on ADO.NET. Only these four insert, update, delete. Okay. These three actions only we will write in the real time also. Nothing else we can't do any other actions. So the requirement is a client given for us one new application. So our requirement is first create the project. Create a project. Okay, I have created. Then what I required? I required create a registration form. Create registration form. Okay, I have created a registration form. Once user entered his data, we need to save data into the database. So what are the steps required for saving? Stopping the debug. Okay. So to save data, we require the first store processor. Store store processor for saving. Okay, one store processor I have created. Now, after that, I want to see the list of data. What are the employees we have created? So, create a employee list page to display employee data. Okay. Yes, I have created the employee list page and I displayed the employee list data in a page. So before that, I have to add one more store processor to get a list of employee data. Okay. Then I required need to create store processor. Store processor for get employee data. Okay. So I need to get a list of employee data. Okay. I displayed the list of employee data. Again, a new requirement he want. So there is a number of employees. I want to give some provision to delete an employee. Okay. Then I need to add a delete button in a list page. So delete employee when click on delete button. Delete button. Okay. If I click on delete button means I need to pass the employee ID and then I need to delete the based on employee. I need to delete the employee data. So again, I required one more store processor to delete employee data. So create a stored processor for delete employee. Delete employee. This is a requirement. Okay. After that, again, client asked me. So unfortunately, I given the first name or salary or age or joining date, any some fields I mismatched, I given. So I want to correct that data. For example, we have our Aadhaar card so we have given a date of birth mismatch our surname spelling mistake we have given. So we have a provision to give the uh, customers to update their data correctly. So again, the client asked them to create a one more page for updating the employee data. Okay, create new page or a new screen to update employee date. Okay. So if I click on update, that means I need to pass this list of, this model to this, I need to pass the model and then I need to update. So again, I required one more store processor for a update. Okay. So again, I need to create a store processor for a update employee data. Okay. Whenever he is updating or whenever he is creating the new employee, so without entering input field, he directly clicked on a create button. So that time I have to display the validations. So again, this is a business requirement. Validations. Validations required for a create or a update a screen. Okay. So like this, by step, every point we have to write. These all are the business requirement in a real time also. So we have to write the business requirement point to point. Okay. So when I created any application without writing violations, and I given my code to the testing team. So testing team, what will do? So they directly click on without entering fields and click on. So if you see here, I'm clicking on create button. Okay. So if I did not write this validation messages, okay. Now we have got the issue, right? So input field is not supplied like that. I will get a compile, a runtime error. So they will post this is a issue is coming when I click on the create button. So they will assign issues to the who is a developer. This form is a developer. Okay, respective developer they will post it. So that time manager will ask you why this is the issue is coming. Okay, why you not tested that scenario? So that is called the unit test. So as a developer also has to write the test cases. So this first name, if I not enter first name, if I click on the create button, I'm getting the any issue or not. If I not enter last name, again I click on the create button, I'm getting any issue or not. Like that, every field we have to text and create, click on create button. If you are getting any runtime error, we have to fix that issue. After that, everything is fine. Then we have to give this code to the testing environment. So testers will test again. So the testing team will do the regression testing. So they will enter like this first name. So like that they will enter the hundreds, 1000 of lines of this text. But this is not a valid first name. If I enter the email like this is not a valid email, right? If I click on create, again it will save. So this is also business requirement is failed. And a joining date. Joining date, if I enter text, okay, this text is not a joining date, right? Again, this business requirement is failed. So everything we have to write our own business requirement that is called unit test cases. So we have to write unit test cases in one WordPad, and then we have to test each point wise. After that also we have sometimes we'll forget some other scenarios. Those scenarios are testing field team. So they validate and then if any test case is failed, they will post a issue to respective developer. Okay. So like that real time they will give the test environment testing team everything we have to work. Okay. So if you observe here, this joining data, it we cannot give provision to enter text. We have to display the date controller. Okay. So date controller we have to give. And if you observe here, I'm entering the this text. If I click on create, this will create because we are not validating this is a valid email or not. If I enter text here, it is not taking because we given it is a number type, then it is a success. So if I enter 1000 line, 1000 characters like this, it is accepting. But that is also not a valid first name, not valid last name. Like this, I can enter 1000 characters, right? So first name we cannot have more than Max 30 characters or 40 characters. I think we don't have max of 30 characters. So we have to give some provision. Minimum characters, max characters. Okay, valid email, valid join date. So these all are test cases we have to pass. So tomorrow we will discuss how to test this valid test cases, how to write the documentation for this registration form. In real time also we'll have to write the test cases. Okay. So like that, we have to write whatever I'm explaining to you, everything is a real time scenario only. Okay. Don't take it as a practice. Okay. So everything I'm explaining to you real time only. Now we have any doubt, please ask me. I will clarify you. So from your side, you have to practice. Okay. Don't the code look like understanding, but while we are writing the code, we'll stuck there because that is a practice only. It will come. Without practice, you cannot write a code.
ఇది చాలా కన్‌ఫ్యూజింగ్ ఉందండి.
ఫస్ట్ టైం కొంచెం అలాగే ఉంటది. కోడింగ్ రాస్తుంటే అర్థమవుతది. అదే నేను చెప్తున్నా. ఫస్ట్ టైం కదా! సో, కొంచెం కన్‌ఫ్యూషనే ఉంటది. మనం ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తుంటే అర్థమవుతది.
ఒకసారి మళ్ళీ ఎక్స్‌ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తారా? ఈరోజు మనం స్టార్ట్ నుంచి ఏం చేసామో?
ఓకే. సో, అసలు ఫస్ట్ మనం ఇక్కడ ఎంప్లాయీ లిస్ట్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తే ఎంప్లాయీ లిస్ట్ పేజ్‌కి నావిగేట్ అవ్వాలి. సో, ఎంప్లాయీ లిస్ట్ నావిగేట్ అవ్వాలి అంటే ఫస్ట్ ఏం చేయాలి? ఎంప్లాయీ లిస్ట్ పేజ్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలి. అంటే ఒక వ్యూ క్రియేట్ చేయాలి. ఓకే. క్రియేట్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఏం చేయాలి? ఈ డేటా ఫెచ్ చేయాలి. ఈ డేటా ఫెచ్ చేయాలంటే ఫస్ట్ ఒక స్టోర్ ప్రొసీజర్ రాయాలి. ఒక యాక్షన్ రాయాలి. ఆ యాక్షన్ ఏంటో డేటా గెట్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఆ డేటా తెచ్చుకున్న తర్వాత దీన్ని వ్యూకి రిటర్న్ చేయాలి. సో, దిస్ ఈస్ మై ఎంప్లాయీ కంట్రోలర్. In this employee controller, this is the index page. So this index page is nothing but a list page. So get employee data by using the store procedure. So I'm calling the store procedure and fetching list of data I'm storing into list. So before starting this, first time I explained you how to pass data from controller to view. I displayed a list and I displayed a model. So now I'm passing this list object into my view. Okay. Now, if you click on this index page, index.html, this is a list page we are going to display it here. Okay. So, whenever we are passing any list, we have to use the IONumerable type. Okay. If you are passing single object, that time it is not required IONumerable. That is the point we have to remember. And then I'm iterating this using the for loop. Here I'm using the for loop. So this is a list. Now, if I click on delete, so this is a business requirement. So I want to display the one alert message to the user or if you want to delete. So unfortunately, if I click on delete, we cannot directly delete. We have to display the one confirmation from the customer. So we will click on a cancel. If by mistake, if we click on a delete button, that is a business requirement. And then I want to modify this record. If I click on a edit button means, so I required one more edit field. Edit new page. Okay. So if you observe here, I want to get this data from database. How it is fetching? That is the question. So when I click on this editor, if you observe here, I'm passing the ID as an input parameter. ID equal to item data ID. So come here, this employee controller. This is a edit action I have created. This is a edit. So I'm passing the ID and fetching the data from database based on this ID. And this model object I'm returning to the view. In this edit view. So if you observe here, this is the employee model. So here I'm fetching this employee data. Okay. So automatically this will populated here because I used the strongly typed view model. Okay. This is a validation messages. If user not entered, so we'll display the validation message. How these validation messages are displaying? These messages are displaying because of in the employee model we have decorated with the required
attributes. So we have some other attributes also. We will discuss it tomorrow. The rest of the attributes. So those all are used for real time scenarios. Okay, those all are a business requirement. And then if I click on edit, this edit, right? So come here. This is the button. Change the update. The text we are going to update. Okay, if I click on update button, we are going to update. So how this data is going to update in employee controller? I'm passing the input. Okay, so this is action of post action. Okay, so by using this employee model, all fields are coming to this here, and then I'm passing the update action. This is update action. We have written the update store processor. After updating, I'm redirecting to the list page again. Okay, these are the CRUD operations we have done. So whenever we are practicing, you will get a doubts. We will get a, I mean, code to understand. Okay, by seeing this, we cannot understand the code. By practicing only, we can understand. So please watch the video, okay, and then practice again. So while doing practice, I will upload this video into YouTube. We can watch my mobile and then we can practice into your system. Parallelly, we can do it. So that is a very simple